Hi besties, I know you guys will be wondering where is this lady? She did not do tutorial. I'm very sorry. I've been traveling up and down. But I'm back. So to start my return, we're going to start with this lovely flare gown. It's just very simple. It's something you can do within under an hour or an hour 30 minutes. So I'm going to use this Ankara to do it. So in order to do it, the first thing I want to do is to actually measure out the flare area. Since I'm using 2 yards of Ankara, it's for a girl of 5 years. So I'm using 2 yards of Ankara. So I'm trying to really manage the fabric. So in order to do my flare, this calculation is applicable for both adult and a younger person, or if you want to do peplum. The first thing you are going to do is to measure your waist measurement. So in this instance, a waist measurement. So if it is for an adult, your waist measurement, you are going to divide it by 6.28. It is constant. That's how you get your 360-degree flare. So you are going to divide it by 6.28. So that is anything you get, you're not going to add the length of the flare. Do you understand? Now let me explain. For example, I want to cut a peplum top, and let me say the length of my peplum, like the flare part of the gown, is 10 inches, and the person's waist is 32. Let's use for an example like that. So I'm going to measure that 32 inches. I'm going to add maybe zipper allowance of 2 inches. That will be 34. So that will be 34 divided by 6.28. Anything I get, I'm now going to add the peplum, the length of the peplum. I told you earlier that the length of the peplum, for example, is 10 inches plus 1 inch for sewing, that is 11. So that is 32 divided by 6.28. Let's say, for example, whatever it is we got, I'm not a calculator here, but whatever it is we got, you are now going to add the full length of peplum. That is what you are going to use to divide your fabric or fold your fabric. That way you won't waste fabric. So in this instance now, I've already gone ahead to divide my client's waist. Her waist is 25. She's just a girl of 4 years 5 years old. So I measured her waist, I added allowance, zipper allowance, and I divided it by 6.28. So after getting it, I now used that whatever it is I got to divide the to fold the Ankara, sorry. So I've already folded it. Now I cannot get my round measurement for the peplum. Then I'm just trying to measure it round to make sure that whatever I can't you see. So when I measured it now, I got 8 inches. 8 times 4, that is 32. So it will be very sufficient for her round waist measurement. And in fact, it will even remain for pleat. Sure you understand. So that's what you are going to do. So from there, I'm just going to measure the full length of my peplum. I want my peplum to be 18 inches. So I went ahead to add 1 inch because I'll use half inch to fold it at the down part, and I'll use half inch to add it. So everything, my peplum waist is 18. So by the time I fold everything in, it will be 17 inches. So I'll just go ahead and I just assume that you guys know how to cut peplum, but if you don't, I think what I'm going to do in this class, can you see my daughter's hand? My daughter is really distracting me. She's distracting me. But anyway, what I'm going to do in this class, I'm going to do a particular video that will show calculation, so that will help you understand. So I'm just going to measure it round, that way I'll get my peplum. After measuring it round now, that is the full length of my peplum plus additional 1 inch. Then after measuring, I cannot cut it out. So let's cut it out now. So I'll just go ahead and cut it out, so that way I'll be able to manage my fabric, and I'll notch it, then I'll open one side of it and notch it so that it will be easy for me when I'm attaching the lining to it. So I just notch the first side. So I'll go ahead and open it up. It was 360-degree peplum we cut. I cut the peplum first, or the flare part of the gown, because it's 2 yards. I'm managing fabric. So by the time I'm done, there will be small gathers, because half the divided by 4 is 8 inches, which is more than our waist measurement. So I'll now use this leftover fabric now to cut the front part and the back part. It is very simple. Now let's cut it. So now the next thing I want to do, I folded my fabric into two. I want to cut the front now. The full length of our gown is 11, the half length is 11.5, but I added half inch so that it will be 12. So by the time I join the down part to the upper parts, the gown will not be short. So I added half inch on the down part. So I'm just going to rule a straight line across. Now from there, I'm going to measure my shoulder measurement. The shoulder is 11 divided by 2 is 5.5. Since she's a child, I'm going to come down by 0.5 inch, because she's a child. As long as she's an adult, for the front part will come down by 1 inch. But since she's a child, we're coming down by 0.5 inch. Now from there, I'm going to measure my bust measurement divided by 6 plus 1. That is how I got my armhole depth. So don't forget your bust measurement divided by 6 plus 1. So on that same armhole depth, I'm going to bring down my measurement. That is my shoulder measurement. So what I measured on top, I'll bring it down. That's 5.5. I'll just connect the lines together. So from then, I'm going to divide my bust measurement divided by 4. So I'm going to put it at that shoulder measurement, that armhole depth measurement, my shoulder divided by 4. Now I'm going to go ahead and add 1.5 inch for allowance. You can add 2, but 1.5 is okay for me. Now I'll go to the waist and also measure my waist divided by 4 and add 1.5 inch. For children, usually their tummy is bigger than their waist. So sometimes when you are making a child measurement, you can discover that by the time you finish drawing, the tummy it will be bigger than the waist area and the thing will be looking funny. Don't be surprised. That is how their measurement is. In this instance, the girl is a bit chubby, so her bust is bigger than her waist measurement or her chest because they don't have breast. So on that armhole, I'm going to divide it by 2 normally, but I'm going to go in by 0.25. Please, she's a child, 0.25. She doesn't have bust. So I'm just going it in gently by 0.25. So for the neck width, I'm using 2.5 inch. And for the neck depth, I'm using 2.5 inch for the neck width. I'm also using 2.5 inch for the neck depth. So by the time I turn it in, it will not be too exposed. That is for a child. Remember, it's not an adult. So after doing that, I'll just go ahead and just cut it out. So I'll just go ahead and cut it out. At this point, if you've been watching my videos, especially my trouser class, and you've not subscribed, please, what are you waiting for? Kindly subscribe to my channel. And if you're having issues with trouser, if you check through my channel, you will discover that I did a lot of nice tutorials about trouser. Kindly check it out. So enough of the rambling. Now let's go to the back. So I'm just going to fold the fabric and use the front to cut the back. So the only difference is from the center front, I'm going to leave out the allowance I need for my zipper. So I'm using 1.5 for zipper. So I'm just trying to cross check it if the 1.5 I need for my zipper is what I folded. So I'll just mark it with chalk. After doing that, I will rearrange my fabric and every other thing is the same except the armhole. For the front, we went in by 0.5 for the armhole. Just please pay attention to the way I will cut the back. It will not be like that. I'm cutting it straight. I'm not going in by that 0.5 inch because normally, if you've watched my videos for adults like basic cutting, know that our front is usually deeper, our armhole at the front is usually deeper than the front. Meanwhile, I forgot to add something. When I was cutting, I made sure I added half inch at the top part of the shoulder. We added half inch already at the down part when we're drafting. So add half inch so that your clothes will not be shorter than the expected measurement. So I'm just going to slit the center back into two. So I will have two equal parts and I'm just going to use chalk to mark it so it will be easier on me. Now after this, what I want to do next is to just go ahead and use the remaining fabric to just create a very tiny flare. The hand is flare and I told you like I don't know the way I'm going, I will still cut my hand. So I just folded it into 8. That means I folded it twice. I folded it again. Then I folded it. Then I'm just going to mark a small flare from it. Can you see? So after folding it, I'm just making sure that everything is equal. After that, I'll just go in. I'll check the full length of the flare to know what I'm working with. Then I'm just going to go in by 2 inches to create this very first circle, just the way we cut normal flare. Just go in and created this very full circle. After doing that, I'll now go ahead to measure it. It is 3 inches, so 3 times 4, that's 12. So 12 times 2, that's 24. So it's okay and it will be enough for me to fold round. So I'm just going to mark it. I'll just use the remaining length to mark a flare. Then I'll go ahead and cut it out. Since I cut it into 8, since I folded it into 8, by the time I'm done, you will see that we have 4 patterns, 4 flare patterns. Just watch, you will see what I'm doing. So I'll just go ahead and mark it round to be sure. At this point, my daughter is still disturbing me. But I've gone ahead to open it up and I have 4 flare patterns. So what I'm going to do so that the armpit area will not be longer than the forearm, I'm just going to trim it out small. Just look at what I'm doing. So that place that I've trimmed out, that place will be at my armhole area. So by the time she raises her hand, the upper part and the down part will be the same. So I'll go ahead and just cut out lining for the flare part. I'm also going ahead and cut lining for the front part and the back panel. So I've gone ahead to cut lining for all the parts. So let me show you now. So what I want to go and do next off camera is to open up the front part, place the lining on top of it, then sew the neck round. After doing it, I'll sew the two sides. I'll do it for the back panel too. Then I'm also going to use my lining to turn the flare. So all this once I'm doing it, just I'm going to open the this and turn the flare around. Then I'll come and show you what is the next step to do. So I've gone ahead to turn everything. Like I've turned the lining with the fabric for the flare. I've also gone ahead to turn the front and the back panel. So this is how it looks now. So off camera, I've already measured out my zipper allowance. I kept 1.5 before, but since we've used half inch to turn in the lining, it will be remaining 1 inch. So already gone ahead to measure my zipper allowance of 1 inch. So what I'm going to do, I'll just use my pins to pin it down so that I can close up the back panel. I've not added zipper. I just closed it up for now. Meanwhile, when I was turning it, I also went ahead to turn the line, the hand, the flare hand, those tiny flare hand I cut. So I'm just going to place the front panel on the back panel, open it up and hold the neck. Please pay attention to the way I'm opening up so your neck area will be neat. So you just open it up. First of all, sew the fabric together, the lining together. Then you are going to measure the allowance you left. Remember when I was drafting, I left 1.5 inch allowance. But I've already used half inch to turn in the lining. So it will be left, I will be left with 1 inch allowance. So all I'm measuring out from the sides is 1 inch. So it depends on how many inch allowance you left before. There is no that because it's a child's clothes. There is no that. There's no need to put that on a child's clothes because they don't have bust yet. So I'm just going to do that now and I will come and show you how it looks. I've gone ahead to just join it together. Can you see it now? So now that I've joined the sides together, I'll go ahead and remove the pins and open it up. So this is how it looks. I told you it's very simple. So now what you are going to do next is just join the flare to the waist. Remember when we were cutting it, I made sure that the flare is larger than the circumference of the flare is larger than the waist. So that means as I'm pinning it, there's a chance that I will have to pleat some parts. That way my flare will be wider or will be fuller. Do you understand? So now let's do it now. So now that I've joined the upper part to the down part, I'm just going to measure 1 inch for the zipper allowance. I'm measuring it down so that it will be very easy for me. So I'll measure 1 inch on both sides. Then I'm going to pin the zipper to it first before I'll take it to the machine. So now let me show you what I'm doing. Now I've already gone ahead, so I'm just trying to pin it with safety pin, following the 1 inch that I've already marked. So I'll do the same for the other side. I'll mark the 1 inch allowance, zipper allowance, and pin it. So after that, you're just going to go to the machine, sew your zipper in place, add your hand, and voila, this is it. If you notice that my tutorial is off today because this was not the tutorial I wanted to do, the one that I wanted to film, I didn't film some parts, so it kind of actually derailed my work. So like I said, this kind of actually derailed my work, but I just had to post a tutorial today, so I had to do this instead. I'm going to post a picture of the one that I was supposed to do. So I'm going to post it, but I didn't want to go without doing tutorial because I've been away for close to a month now. So I just had to do this. But I'm going to redo that tutorial maybe with another fabric. Anyway, take care of yourself. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.